Pog champ. Take turns. Go, go, go. Violent proc. Bird, go ham. You have one job. Pog. Safe. Safe. The reason I had the Tark slower was to use the pull. But I guess I don't need to, like, set up super optimal turn order. Did I take... Oh, he literally has no rune. New update dropped, and basically everyone's trying to find speed teams. I found teams that I'm happy with. My goal was sub 130 on everything with no artifacts, and I'm sufficiently happy with it all. But this is... We'll just go through and see how these are. Yeah, pog us, everybody. Say hello to YouTube friends. Say hello to YouTube friends. So the idea with this team, like, ideally, I think you run a Hrazvelg that has either full damage or higher accuracy for the branding. Mine's really low accuracy because it's built for Siege. It's just on Despair. And I also think that ideally you put a better rage set on your Lin. My Lin has not the greatest rage set, but I'll show the runes after so you guys can see. YouTube, you are a pog, you. I agree. I agree. Hello, living people. There's some guy in the podcast that always in the podcast, he goes, future me, I started watching the podcast here. Or future me, I stopped watching the podcast here. It's the greatest thing ever. Like, he's like pre-timestamping the podcast for himself. I'm like, this man is a genius. He like joins the stream, types that out, and then leaves. I'm like, whoa. Big brain. Huge brain. Huge brain. But yeah, so ideally, this team needs work because Lauren plus the Orochi is not the greatest. Attack bar reduction plus Dot's not that great. But the safety net of having both of them is fine. Right? The safety net between the two makes it okay and worthwhile for me. I can quickly go through the runes. I'll go by turn order. So for turn order, it's Hrazvelg first, speed, attack, HP. And then it's Lucian. So attack buff into the Lucian for the amp is the kill. And then we have Lauren that moves next. I put Lauren initially not on Violent. I had her on fight with crit damage so she would die. But the reason I put her back onto Violent was because if she Violent procs, she's more likely to take the revenge and kill herself. And then the dots will kill. So Lauren moves, and then Orochi moves, ideally for the dots. And then Lin moves last. My Lin, I tried to build her tanky enough that she would survive one hit. So she's on HP crit damage defense. But as you can see, her base stats are really, really, really rough for that idea. But, I mean, it works. It works for what it is. The Dragons team I came up with was not the strongest. The Teor is nice because of the recent buff to him. So Teor speed scaling damage on skill 2, but also has AoE skill 3, which reduces attack bar. Whoa. Hug Ken, thanks for the 46 months. Pog, I love when a long time sub scuffs the YouTube video. That's a pog. Appreciate that, dude. Thanks for the 46 months. It's great to see you. I'm actually running about 50 accuracy on almost everybody that has relevant debuffs. My Barber only is 35 because I use her in Alunia. But I'm actually running an accuracy set on the Rauk to increase the accuracy of my team. But yeah, so the idea behind the Teor was Teor has AoE skill 3 that's slow debuffs, and now it pushes attack bar back, so it actually works decently for here. Doesn't Lin scale on attack? Lin does scale on attack, but her main focus is scaling on crit damage because it's enemy max HP scaling, so I'd rather just make her survive longer. Teor is just like speed, crit damage, and attack with a bit of accuracy. Yeah. Substitutions for Teor, I think in like a speedier team, Poseidon would be really good because the AoE attack bar reduction plus slow debuff. Water Homunculus would actually be really good for this. Double enemy max HP scaling Water Homunculus is really nice. I used the Rauk because I wanted the extra turn mechanic and the pull. I don't think it's super important to have him here, but I mean, extra damage is extra damage, right? Double Teor could be pretty good too. You'd have a lot more control on the right side tower. Because right now, the only time this team has ever sketched is if I miss the strip like 2 or 3 times, but it's very unlikely that I miss it twice. Would I use Luna over Lin if I had her? I don't know if I would anymore because of how strong the teams are. It's not about getting that one turn nuke off anymore. It's about getting consistent sustained damage and making sure that you don't die. So I'm not sure. I'd have to test it and see if I like it more. Oh, that is actually a pretty good re-app potential if I were to ever re-app a Revenge Rune. Okay, turn order. Turn order is Bird first. Actually, I think it's Barb first. I think Barb outspeeds my Bird. Barb is first. And then it's Verd. And then we have Lauren move. And then Teor moves. And then we have Rock last. Necro was the easiest of all of them. Necro took very little changes. I'm running 3 Violent Twins and a Violent Lauren with a non-Violent Fran. And it's just like super easy. I honestly don't think you need like super good runes or like really like a lot of violent sets. I'm just kind of consolidating and using the same thing for everything because I wanted to do all of the content today. I didn't build, 3 separate teams. I just used units that I already had Rune and try to move on from there. I think in the future, like maybe tomorrow or in a couple days or something, I'll work on having some teams that are more specified, like with my best runes on those teams, just to like, show the potential of a speed team setup. So I'll just like adjust a whole bunch of things. Yeah, Necro's pretty easy. It is also worth mentioning that my twins are pretty tanky, so they're never going to die here. All of them are about plus 8k HP, plus 400, 500 defense. The water twins are built for Alunia, so I wanted them to be able to take 1 hit. And then the Shina is just tanky because the extra runes I had for her were tanky. Shout out twitch.tv/Sherry live right now. Sherry's pretty cool. She's doing a partner push, so if you guys have the opportunity, go say hi. Fran or Colleen? I think either would be fine. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter too much. Yeah, so runes for this. Lauren, as we saw before. My Fran is built for... she's non-violent because I built her for Tartarus Labyrinth, which is why I gave her higher attack. This is my Talia. It's a Nemesis build is for the Alunia B5 setup. The lower accuracy on Sabrina. Oh, thanks for the 44 months, Domi. Another long time sub. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Sabrina is also lower accuracy because of Alunia, but the nice thing is because I'm using Shina with the Sabrina, I also get the bonus accuracy passive, which is pretty strong. A Bio DPS Chew. I think Chew also sucks because Chew doesn't do any damage. And Chew doesn't really provide you anything in the early stages either. Unlike a Pungbeck. Like, Pungbeck can literally one-shot the waves, which is nuts. Rahul is insanely good. Zinc is pretty decent, too. I think I might build mine for safety. Yeah, so if I land it, it's just like, you just rotate like crazy, right? Scar does half even with no attack buff. And with the immunity up, you continue to rotate, and it's over. I think it's also probably best to run a crit damage Lauren would be really nice for this because in this dungeon specifically, wind artifact defense though. Counterattack, attacking together, life drain. Wind unit, life drain. What wind unit uses life drain? Attacking together. If you get lucky on the rolls, I guess you put this on Leo. Or like Tyrannus or something. Weird. Fang? Maybe. Are primary stats always flat? What do you mean? Artifact stats are always flat stats. They're only flat stats. Can you use Pung in both this Dungeons and Giants? Probably. Ikaru. It said wind. Can't be water. Yeah, this team is very AI dependent because it depends on Lucian actually like amping. If you want the faster times. Like it works, but Lucian amping makes it way better. And then Brig not using skill 3 is just tragic every time. That strip was wasted too. Yep. That stun comes out and stuns my Brig. Yeah, the RNG. So the most efficient way to run these teams is technically to run multiple will sets. If you run multiple will sets, like you can deal with the RNG. But my team might honestly just die here because of that. Well, actually, if Brig lives, we're okay. It's like the Thunder doesn't kill him, then we're okay. Oh, unlucky. One Scar. It's GG. Well, I got a 33-second run in the video, so I'll take it. We can just record a bunch, and then I'll just cut them to show the best and then, like, average runs. Like, this is a good run to show average where it, like, fails to do exactly what it needs to do. I'm happy with my Punisher's Crypt team. This team is, like, solid. This team is super solid. The runes for this team are kind of weird. So I've been playing around with different things, trying to see what I like, but this is what I'm running on the Brig currently. Ideally, I'd also like max backskim splash for the defense break chance, but it is what it is. So it's Brig into Lucian, same Lucian as Giants, into I think Fran moves and then Lauren moves, and then Lauren and then the Crow. I want to adjust the Crow's runes around and see what I like. I think I can just give him more damage. I do want 100 crit ideally, so I never miss crit on Scar, but we'll see. Is Yen a must for this team? Nah, someone with a speed break is important, though. Somebody with the speed break. It doesn't really matter who it is. The reason it'd be nice to use Yen and Pang together is because you get 2 speed break chances. So if one of them, like, fucks it up twice, then you're still good. Can you use Hua? No. If you use Hua, the boss will take a turn immediately every time you move. I might swap the Hrazvog to a Colleen. I'm not sure yet. In terms of true safety, I think you just put Fran there, right? If you put Fran, or I guess you can't use Fran because the attack bar push. If you use Colleen there, you're good, right? Because you can attack break the boss too. Chasun could work. Wouldn't I replace Yen if I took out Orochi? No, I think I would still want to force the thing to eat the dots. I think I would still want to force it to eat the dots. This is so dumb. Okay, 100% ignore defense now. But I take 1 turn and win, so it doesn't matter. Okay, this is dumb. This really should not exist.